Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss the worksheets of our practice book unit 9. Topic is conditionals, and in our previous video we have talked about what are conditional sentences and what are their kinds, and how do we write different kinds of conditional sentences, or how do we recognize all those different kinds of conditional sentences. And first of all, we are going to recapitulate what we have done, right? What we have understood in the previous video, and then we will be doing the worksheets of this unit. So we are going to start with worksheet number 2. One thing I would like to tell you that worksheet number 1 you have to leave, and we are going to start with page number 79. So let's see what is given before worksheet number 2. A few examples have been given, and let's recognize which kind of conditional sentences are those. As we remember that conditional sentences are those sentences in which we use the word if. And in these kind of sentences, there are two parts of a sentence, and both the parts are having their own verbs, right? And in each part, we are talking about an event out of which one part, which is having if, is laying down a condition, and the other part is depending on that condition. Okay, the other part is telling us the result of that condition. So let's see, we will be understanding in a better way by looking at the examples given on page number 75. And there are a few sentences. First one is, if it rains, I will stay at home. And the same sentence can be written the other way also. I will stay at home if it rains. So in this kind of sentence, you can see there are two parts, which are those two parts. One is if it rains, other is I will stay at home. So if part, it is laying down a condition कि अगर बारिश होती है तो मैं क्या करूँगा. द अदर पार्ट इज टेलिंग द रिजल्ट कि मैं क्या करूँगा. आई विल स्टे एट होम, कि मैं घर में ही रहूँगा. इट कैन बी रिटन इन अदर वे विच इज़ गिवन इन द सेकेंड वन. I will stay at home if it rains. Now, which kind of conditional sentence it is? Do you remember that we have talked about 4 kinds of conditional sentences? Those were zero condition, in which we were using simple present tense in both the parts. Okay, so here we are not using simple present in both the parts. In first part there is simple present tense if part is having simple present tense, whereas in the other one we are using will. So it means it is not zero conditional. Zero conditional, as we all know, that it is having simple present in both the parts, and we are talking about present real condition or general truths or habits in these kinds of conditional sentence or the zero conditional. First condition, second kind of conditional sentence we talked about, first conditional sentence in which we are talking about future real condition. And in the first conditional sentence, how do we use the verbs? In if part we use simple present tense, and in the other part we use will. So both of these sentences, first one as well as the second one, we can read the second one also. If I save enough money, I will go to Switzerland. So here also, if part is having simple present tense, whereas the other part is having will in it, and so both these sentences are first conditional sentence, right? The second sentence can also be written in the other way. I will go to Switzerland if I save enough money. So through by reading the sentences and how do we use the verbs in those particular conditional sentences, we will come to know that which kind of conditional sentence is that. So zero conditional, first conditional, and third kind of conditional sentence we have studied, second conditional, in which we are talking about present unreal conditions. And how do we use the verbs? If part we use simple past tense, whereas in the other part we use would, could or might as helping verbs. And fourth kind was third conditional sentence, in which we talk about past unreal conditions or imaginary results and outcomes of that unreal condition, right? Means anything we did not do in the past time, but we are talking about if we had done it, what would be the consequences of that? मतलब जो हमने कुछ नहीं किया मीन्स जो किया है वो उसकी बात नहीं कर रहे, जो नहीं किया मतलब जो नहीं किया उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, उसके रिजल्ट क्या हुए होते. These kinds of sentences are third conditional sentence, right? And how do we use the verbs in that? In the if part, we use past perfect tense. It means had plus V3. And in the other part, we use would plus have plus V3. So we will be knowing, understanding it in a better way when we go through the exercises. So let's do worksheet number 2. That is a few situations have been given, and we have to complete those conditional sentences by reading whatever part is given over there. So in the first situation, you can see it is just like a reality show which comes on TV, which you are watching on TV, KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati. And the first situation is, what will you do if you win 1 crore rupees on a game show? So the sentence is given over here, if I win rupees 1 crore. So here you can see if part is having simple present tense. So how we are going to write the other part of it, the event which will take place as a result of the you can say this whatever is given in the if part of it. So this is telling us the future real condition, right? So we can write in our views like, if I win rupees 1 crore, I will visit many countries. Or we can write some other response also, like I will buy an expensive car, or I will buy an expensive house, I will save it for my studies. Different views can be written. In this way we can complete this particular sentence. Now let's see what is the second situation. In situation 2, what would you do if you could perform a lot of magic tricks? Now the sentence is starting with, if I can perform. So here also simple present tense has been used. So we are going to write as first conditional. We are going to complete it as first conditional by using will in the other part. So we can complete it, if I can perform a lot of magic tricks, I will make environment pollution free with my magic. Or you can write any other response also. I will fly over mountains, I will change the color of the sky. A number of things you can write, whatever comes to your mind according to that. Now in the third one, if I were a star actor. Here you can see that if part is having simple past tense. And if we are using simple past tense, it means we are talking about present or past unreal condition. So we are going to use would in the other part. So we can complete it in different ways. Like, if I were a star actor, I would be a famous personality. Or you can say, I would act in many movies and earn lots of money. Or I would visit many countries of the world. Or I would have many fans. So in different ways we can complete the sentence, but remember that we have to use would in it, right? Now come to the worksheet number 3. What is given over here? In worksheet number 3, we also use if to talk about situations or events that did not take place in the past. For example, if the weather had been fine, we would have gone for a swim. If I had seen you, I would have waited for you. Here in these conditional sentences, we can see that we are talking about a situation or an event which did not take place in past. And what would be the consequences, results of that, we are going to talk about that. So how do we use the verbs in it? That we have to use had plus V3 in the if part, whereas in the other part we have to use would have plus V3. So let's see what are the examples or the sentences given over here. Make a sentence about each of the given pictures. The first one is done for you as an example. So look at the first example. You can see in the picture there is a boy who is taking his dog for a walk. He didn't see the sign. In the sign you can see what is shown, that dogs are not allowed to be taken for the walk over there. So if he had seen the sign, he wouldn't have brought his dog. So we are talking about the situation or the event which did not take place. So we are going to write it by using had plus V3. What is V3? Seen. And in the other part, wouldn't, would plus have plus V3, that is brought. Now look at the next one. Second part. She didn't hear the doorbell. Now the girl is wearing earphones and she's listening to the music, so that's why she didn't hear the doorbell. So we are going to talk about if she had heard the bell, what would have she done? She would have opened the door, right? कि अगर उसने इस गर्ल ने बेल सुन ली होती तो उसने डोर खोल देना था. But it didn't happen. So we are talking about an unreal past condition over here, which is conditional, third conditional sentences. Look at the third example, third sentence. She did not see the sign. Now this girl is taking her car and she is parking her car in the place where there is a signboard that no parking. Parking is not allowed. So how to write it? If she had seen the sign, she wouldn't have parked her car. कि अगर उसने साइन देख लिया होता तो उसने अपनी कार वहाँ पार्क नहीं करनी थी. Now the fourth one. She did not see the gold necklace. Now this girl is walking and she has not seen the gold necklace. लेकिन we are going to talk about कि अगर उसने gold necklace देख लिया होता तो उसने क्या करना था. So how to write it? If she had seen the necklace, she would have picked it up. कि अगर उसने गोल्ड नेकलेस देख लिया होता तो उसने उसको उठा लेना था. Right? So in this way we are going to complete the given conditional sentences in a correct way. So that's all for today's work. Have a nice day. Thank you.